Nutcracker was when I was 3 years old, and now I am in plays. I like working in plays because you can learn about teamwork and helping people. I like acting because I get to tell stories in my own way. What lit your light?
I think the first time I imagined a theater career is my first directing gig. I was in first grade, and I was really into this record of the Fantasia soundtrack. I came to school one day with the record and with a paper wizard's outfit for myself, since of course I was also starring in this thing. And I remember vaguely trying to get all the other kids in my class to be the walking broomsticks. I'm not so sure they were into it, but for me it was pure magic, and I've never looked back.
I was cast as the grandmother in Little Red Riding Hood, and there was this one moment where I had to be on stage all by myself. I was there, and suddenly my wig fell off. I said something, and the entire audience started laughing. In that moment, I was hooked to the magic of live theater.
I made my Broadway debut at 5. All the things that we're not supposed to admit as actors, that we love applause, we love attention, we love the way it makes us feel, that's part of it. I love the craft and I love the art. I love that. And I love how healing theater is for so many people. I mean, it is. And there's nothing like it on the face of the earth.
We were doing Tom Sawyer, and I was a whitewasher. I got to whitewash Tom's fence. And I just remember getting my first laugh.
The first musical theater show I ever saw was a touring production of Phantom of the Opera. And then a few years later, I went to see Miss Saigon on the West End. Another big epic show with a story that brought me to tears and made me feel so many emotions. And there was a giant helicopter, and everything about theater made me excited.
When I was in my high school production of Into the Woods, it was my senior year, and I played Cinderella's Prince and the Wolf. Just hearing all of the beautiful writing echoing around me, realizing how I fit into that beautiful, beautiful music, it was a visceral feeling, and I got goosebumps, and I just remembered thinking, I've never experienced anything like this, and I just was hit with a moment where I just knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
It was a production of Cyrano de Bergerac, and I ended up being cast as Christian, the young lover, and I realized after that experience that it was theater that helps foster those incredible relationships, and that was the moment then.
When I was in 4th grade, my mom, Julie Gayling, took me downtown to the Cultural Center to audition for the Greensboro Children's Theater's production of The Velveteen Rabbit. I was cast as the little boy, and for, I guess it was a couple of months, twice a week, I would go to play practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school, and learned what it meant to put on a show, to collaborate with people, to help each other make something that wasn't there before.
My high school trip to New York City, we took a week-long trip with our theater teacher, and we got to see 2 Broadway shows. One was Cats, and then the second one was Miss Saigon, and that, I think, cinched it for me. That production of Miss Saigon showed me that people who looked like me were on stage and shining their light and performing, and that it was a career option. That was the first time really where I saw myself on stage.
I was introduced to show choir in middle school and really fell in love with marrying singing, dancing, and a dramatic flair. I would have to say born with a dramatic flair.
The thing that lit my light is a TV show called High Five, which is funny because now my primary program with NYCCT is 5, and that was a moment that I realized that you could be on a stage and you could be telling a story with music, with puppets, and you could learn something out of it.
So when I was 9 years old, I saw Annie, and that was it. I was done. I knew that is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I begged my mom to let me audition for Annie on Broadway, and she did. I went to the open call, and I actually made it to the final callbacks, but I got interviewed by like the New York Times or Post or something, and they were like, we're interviewing 9-year-old Carrie Butler. Why are you here on the open call for Annie? And we have this cutout. Well, I like to sing and I like the money. Still true.
It just so happened that one year it was Julius Caesar. And you would think, oh, a Shakespeare play lit your light? Yes, it did. Portia's monologue about her dream, oh man, that lit the light for me.